Hola, and welcome back to my channel where budgeting is part of my journey to achieving the life I dream of. My name is Chris and I'm an active duty member in the US Navy, and I'm a wonder of 2 wonderful kids and 2 fur babies. Today we will be closing out paycheck number 1 of February, and we will be looking at what I'm going to be rolling over to paycheck 2. Then we will go into paycheck 2 and budget that out. So let's get started. Right, let me just turn that a little bit. Okay, we are going to be filling out the actual column. Now, I like to do this right before I get paid for paycheck number 2, so that way I know my numbers are accurate and all of these came out already. The ones that say 14th, I know I'm filming this before the 14th, but I went ahead and went into those accounts and already charged, and they have cleared my bank already. So starting with income, my paycheck, the actual was 2596.55. Pardon my handwriting. Transfer in was 700. And here I have a sinking fund that I roll over every month because I don't want that full 868 to come out of my account all at once. What happens is I roll over from the previous month half of it, and so paycheck 1 pays the other half. So in total I'm paying the full amount, but I'm transferring in the sinking fund for the half month of the mortgage. So sinking fund, rolled over 434.19, and that's just the number I roll over at the beginning of the month every month. Okay, that was everything for the first month, or for the first paycheck. Let's add all that up. All right, that gave me an income of this month of $3,730.74. All right, let's go on with the mortgage. So the mortgage never really changes. It's always a constant. So is HOA. My subscriptions come out the same amount all the time. The power, this one I allot 170 out of the month for the month, and then I put the actual here, which I did pretty well on lowering it. Last month I was in the 160s, this month I'm in the 150s, so that's a win. All right, childcare came out to $291. I was budgeting out $324. That again, another win. These bills are constant. Again, $291, saving some bucks. I'm so excited. Now, I wanted to talk about this one because so I have budgeted out $189 for my store card. Now, I went ahead and on one of my cards that I have, one of my credit cards, I applied for the Service Member Care Relief Act, and it got approved. And when it got approved, I got back $10,205 in a refund of a lot of the interest charges at the previous rate, lowered down to the new rate. So with that blessing of $10,205 from Discover, they lowered my balance to $6,958, and then I went ahead and transferred 2 cards balances because I also had the offer for a transfer balance for a 5% transfer fee and a 0% APR for 12 months. I went ahead and did the transfer, and my new balance on the card is going to be $18,000 with $93. But moving the payments of the Discover card, what used to be the store card, and the last card, that's the $584. And then in the month, I always plan $580 for a snowball. So I'll be sending over $1,164. With that amount, I will be paying off these two together, making it a $661 savings over the span of what I would have had to pay with the previous balances on my two cards. Not sure if I explained that correctly or if that makes sense, but with that being said, I got a blessing of being approved for the Service Member Care Relief Act, and I am using that blessing to make sure that I knock out a lot of this debt sooner. So with this, I'm going to be putting 0 here because that's going to be paid after I pay the 15th, because I will no longer have this store card. Its balance is going to be 0. The balance is just transferred to another one. All right, my T-Mobile bill is $129.50. All right, let's add up all these bills together. All right, that gives us a total of bills. That's $2,224. Oh, wow, a lot of twos. $98. And we're gonna go ahead, take our income. We're going to subtract our bills. And that leaves us with $1,505.76. Okay, coming down to the envelopes. When it comes to the envelopes, I know that I took out $700 and sent it already over to my envelopes account. So for this portion of my budgeting, I don't update these numbers because I'm not going to be moving back any of this envelope money. I do have something that I do at the end of the month where anything that's left in my envelope account, I'm going to be making sure that I leave a cushion there, which is $100, and anything that is left from my envelopes account at the end of the month, I move over to a savings account. So that way, that money, I'm only keeping track of it for the purpose of how much I send over, but all the savings gets tracked for another account when I send it over at the end of the month. Hope that makes sense. Now, to this number right here, the 1,505.76, I subtract the 700. And that leaves us with 105.76. That is a very big difference from the 54 and 55 cents that I had earlier. But that is because some of my bills came out pretty low. I did get that blessing of that refund. The store card doesn't come out this paycheck. And one thing that I will say, kind of like a tip, is that when you have sinking funds that you use as income, just make sure you have like a little cheat sheet either on your calendar or on your bill tracker, because honestly, when I was writing the budget for this paycheck, I completely forgot about my sinking fund that I roll over until I honestly thought about it, and I was like, wow, that does not look right. And something was telling me that was not right. And I had to look back in my previous months and see, wow, yes, I am forgetting the sinking fund that rolls over after the 15th. So always remember to put somewhere in your cheat sheet. Don't forget the rollover. So I'm glad that that amount is rolling over, because that is going to help us out with the snowball, the sinking funds, and my make a home savings account, which I'm going to be using to upgrade my home, so that way it can at least feel a little bit more homing. Of course, it's always a home because I'm with my kids, but it always feels nice to either change the floors up, you know, get brand new curtains. So that's what those funds are used for. Okay, so it looks like we have our number. Our magic number is 80576 to roll over. So let's go ahead and budget out paycheck number 2 of February. So I'm gonna go ahead and start writing out this number so that I don't forget, or I have it on the calculator, so I'll just use it there. Cheat sheet. Okay, this paycheck number 2 is going to be for the 15th of February of 21. I know I'm not as consistent with how I write it, but you know what? Sometimes it just happens. So I am only expecting my paycheck. Right, I'm expecting a transfer in. And then the rollover from paycheck 1. Oh, completely misspelled that. Rollover. And then I know for the last few months of 2020, we had our taxes, the tax break. And so I just went ahead, all that tax money that they didn't take out for those last few months of 2020, I just went ahead and I put it into a savings, and I'm paying myself back slowly as the money is being taken out of my paycheck. So I just call that a tax break fund. Basically, I'm paying myself that money. So let's see, my paycheck, I always budget out $25.50. Transfer in is going to be $700. Rollover is that $805.76. And I have to look back. If I'm not mistaken, it's 82. Yes, I do refer back to my old months because I cannot remember sometimes, which is 82.56. All right, that looks like a good chunk and change. All right, let's add up the income. All right, so we have 4,138 with 32 cents. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll be right back as I write out my bills for February for the second paycheck and their dates and how much they're budgeted out for. So I'll be right back. Okay, and we're back. So let's go ahead and add up all of these bills. As I mentioned earlier, I did get that refund for Discover. So the payment due on February 15th is actually at 0. So all of the money that I'm going to be throwing at it is all going to be snowball because I don't have an amount that's due for Discover for the month of February. So I'm just going to go ahead, throw that snowball at it, and I'm not going to fill this out here. I'm not going to put the snowball amount. I'm going to be putting it over here over extra debt. So let's go ahead, add these up. Okay, the total for the 15th bill are $1,629.80. Let's subtract that from the income. Okay, so once I have that, I'm gonna write in here the amount left over. I'm gonna go ahead, put my envelope categories, which are groceries, eating out, I just abbreviate it EO for eating out. We have the kids, we have family fun, we have gifts, we have pets, we have gas, we have miscellaneous. That should be 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes, 8 envelopes. All right, I budget out $200 for every 2 weeks. Eating out is only going to get $90. The kids have budgeted out $100. Family fun is going to get $60. Gifts are going to get $30. Pets $30. Gas is going to get $50. And I might be revising, or I'm going to be updating the amount that I put for gas every month, because gas prices have definitely gone up and I am putting way more into my tank. So these numbers might change for next month. This might be going up probably about $10 to $15 per pay period. So 140. So of course, I think what I'm gonna just go ahead and do for next month is I'm gonna bump down my miscellaneous spending and maybe do it that way, or I'm just gonna raise it and it's gonna reflect on the saving sections where I won't be saving as much because I do have to offset for the gas prices. Okay, if I add those up, it should give me 700. Let's just go ahead, verify. $700, and we just subtract what was left over, which is the 2508.52 minus 700. Okay, that leaves us with 1,808.52 cents. See if you guys can see that. So that's not bad because I do still have sinking funds, the snowball, and my extra savings for my Make a Home project. Okay, for sinking funds, let's put the leftover up here. For this one, I don't list out all my sinking funds here because I have them on a separate tracker, which I can show you here in a second. But I just go ahead, put sinking. It's just too many to fit in this one section, so I just put it on a separate sheet. I know that I've done my calculations on all my sinking funds, and 313 is what I would need each month just so that I can meet my goals for each of the sinking funds. So 313 is our total sinking fund total. So 182 minus the 313, we are left with 1495.52. Okay, here is where the snowball is going to happen. So previously I had said that everything that I was paying on my other cards, I'm gonna add that up. So this is what I was paying, and then with my snowball that I have budget out every month, brings me to a total of $1,164 for this snowball, because of the fact that I don't have to pay the store card this month because the balance transferred. And Discover, with the refund that came through, it also left me with a 0 payment for this month. And also the last credit card that I have, that was, because the balance transferred, it's 0, so I owe nothing on it for this month. So all of that is going to go as a snowball, which actually I'm doing the avalanche method only because I want to not have to pay as much with all those APRs. That is why I made the decision to change or transfer to a 0% balance transfer, 0% APR for 12 months. And I know I can knock it out with this snowball going through. Hopefully by the end of the year, I can have all of that done, all that entire transfer over with. So that saves me that $661 that we were talking about. So here we have 1,164, and we are left with 331 and 52. So 1,164, that was the total there. With this left over, now I have space for extra savings. I just want to say, since my journey started in April of 2020, this box never really got any numbers, and if they did, it took me probably about 2 or 3 months before I could get any sort of extra money, as I started knocking down debt, revising my budget, and actually making more conscious budget numbers for my different categories for my envelope. So this is actually a pretty proud moment that I'm able to actually put some money in there. It's a significant amount. A significant upgrade can happen in my home, and honestly, it's been through the power of budgeting. Who would have thought? But late into the game, but I'm super happy that I'm finally on this journey. So I had left over $331.52. So because I'm a zero-based budgeter, all of the budgeted leftover money is going to my Make a Home account. So that's the whole $331.52. And I'm gonna be left with 0. Doesn't mean I have $0. It just means that all my money has a purpose. It's gonna be paying the bills. It's gonna be upping my account cushion, so that way I know that I'm prepared in case a bill goes way too high or something unexpected happens. Maintenance, I'm preparing for the future, for the maintenance that I have to do for the house now. I'm preparing for sinking funds, so all my money doesn't just disappear. It's just, it knows where to go, and I'm so thankful that I have at least some of it left over for upgrading the house. Okay, that is it for today. Thank you for joining me on my journey. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like today's budgeting video, and don't forget to click that bell so you know when I'm uploading new videos. Hope you can join me again next time. Next time I will be doing my actual cashless envelope sinking fund stuffing, which, oh, I just remembered, I did forget to show you that sheet. So for my sinking funds, I actually have a separate spreadsheet where I list out the beginning balance of all my sinking funds, the minimum budget that I have for each of those sinking funds so I can reach these goals. And then any transactions I put, this is where I'm going to be putting that plus $15, plus $15, and that's where my 313 amount came from. So at the end of the month, I put how much I'm left with, and this column will become the beginning balance of my sinking fund spreadsheet for March of 21. So yes, I can't believe I almost forgot about that. But yes, thank you for joining me. Next video, we will be doing our February 5th or end of month closeout, and we will be stuffing my cashless envelopes for my sinking funds, and we will be looking on how I did on these envelopes, which categories I overspent, which categories I underspent, and what money is going to be rolling over to my savings account. Again, thank you for joining me. Hasta luego. Bye.